Who the fuck is Bambi?
Bambi is a disgruntled deer who's lost its mom because of a hunter, and now it's seeking revenge and taking out anybody that's in its path because that's the new trailer to Bambi the Reckoning, and that is phenomenal. That's so much better than the Winnie the Pooh for Blood and Honey or whatever it was called. I watched like say 10 minutes of that movie and I was like, this is terrible, and shut it off. I'm watching Bambi the Reckoning this morning right before the show, and I'm like, oh, I might watch that. I might watch it. And if you don't know, there's a lot of these iconic characters from back in the day where their rights are expiring, like Winnie the Pooh did. And then basically filmmakers and whatnot can take that character and just be full on honest, like this is Winnie the Pooh. And in this case, it's Bambi from the forest whose mom got murdered by a hunter, then ate delicious deer meat. Anyway, then basically the thing expired and you can use it however you wish. But for whatever reason, they're only making like Winnie the Pooh and they're doing a horror movie, or they did, and they might do a sequel, which is crazy. Now they got Bambi, same thing, rights expired, so they're making a horror movie. The trailer is one of the top trending things in the United States right now. They're making a horror movie. It's to me, I would rather see, you know, Winnie the Pooh, but it's just like a raunchy comedy. Something like that. That would be great. Or Bambi, Bambi, goes on a bender because, his mom died. Next thing you know, he's in a comedy club and, he, stabs a guy in the parking lot. I don't know, something different than that's not really funny, but I was like, something different other than a horror movie. I would rather see that. Something that just other than that. But what's funny is I'm watching the trailer for Bambi the Reckoning. It doesn't look that bad in comparison to the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey thing. That being said, it still looks like a cheesy horror movie. People running slow, like, oh no, Bambi's gonna get me. And then there's a scene where like Bambi rips a dude's head off in the trailer. He's flipping over trucks. And then what was the one? The one thing that kind of bugged me, which is silly to think about considering what the movie is they get a like somewhat of a close up of Bambi's mouth, and it's from the side view, and obviously it has teeth showing, but it's like a ton of teeth, almost like a shark's mouth, like way too many teeth in there, and they're way too sharp. And it's just like, come on, a little too cheesy, a little too over the top. Just make him a disgruntled freaking deer. He's pissed off. You ate his mom, okay? Not in a good way. I'm just saying you ate his mom, and then and he's mad and he's seeking revenge. Just do it that way. Instead of be like, no, now he's so angry, his teeth just morphed into these sharp, steak knife type things. Just stupid. Stupid. But it's a good reminder. Don't mess with wildlife. um, because I'm sitting there thinking, I'm watching this, and it's deer, and he has the big old antlers and everything. It reminds me of when I go up to Estes Park here in Colorado. Beautiful place, but you got to be careful because there's elk everywhere, and they walk wherever the fuck they want to walk. Right downtown Estes Park. You're walking with your family, going to go maybe grab some lunch or go into a store, and then you realize that everybody stopped. Why? Because the elk are deciding that they're going to cross the street, and you just have to obey. You don't get close to them. because if you do, especially if they have little ones, they are going to wreck you. There's no winning against an elk. I know you think, oh, it's just so beautiful. An elk or a deer will fuck you up. A moose will kill you. All those things could potentially kill you. Ask a hunter. They know. They know the power of these things. And it goes as far as it, what's the strongest. It goes weakest to strongest. It's going to be deer, elk, moose, but they're all dangerous. But then it also starts making my mind go towards, you see these videos, especially now we're going into spring and summer. That's right around the corner. You're going to start seeing videos everywhere of dumbass tourists going to Yellowstone National Park if it's open. Nobody knows if it's open yet. Nobody knows. But if you go down there, and people are going to be driving, and they always get out of their fucking cars when they see the bison or the buffalo wandering around, and they're like, oh, let's go take a selfie with it. Then they start running for their lives. They're like, holy shit, it's angry. If you go to the arsenal here in Colorado, it's this like refuge where they have a bunch of wildlife, and part of that is they have a bunch of bison out there. And the first time my wife and I went out there, we drive into this spot where the bison are, and there was like, say, 6 of them just hanging out, and there's a variety of sizes. But there was like 2 big ones, and I'm like, that's a lot bigger than I was thinking. I'm not sure, but it may have been like, as far as on the back, right around 5.5 feet, if not 6 feet tall. It was ginormous, huge. Like, why would you want to get close to that? Why? Because it gets pissed off at you. It's going to toss you. Doesn't matter if you're a 200-pound dude, it's going to fling you like a rag doll. Come on, people. Don't be doing that. Don't be. What other character from shows that you watched growing up, what other character do you want to see? Like Mighty Mouse. I know Ryan Reynolds is trying to bring Mighty Mouse back. What other characters do you want to see turned into a horror movie or just like a funny comedy? Come on. You got to let me know. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com, or hit me up on my socials @DeHuffPodcast. I know there's some that I'm just not thinking of. I think that's a good way to do it, especially the comedy thing. Forget the horror movies. I want to see Mickey Mouse. I want to see Winnie the Pooh. I want to see all these like guys doing just funny, raunchy things. You're like, what? What? Did Winnie the Pooh just fart in a jar and shove it in Tigger's face? What the hell? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then Eeyore's in the corner and be like, oh, bother. Here we go again. I just shit myself. Oh, Eeyore. He's hammered and high. Not a good combination. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button as well. Remember, today's show is presented to you by Roof Goat USA. I'm not going to do the goat sound. I'm not. No, that's called peer pressure. Maybe I will later. Okay. You got me. You got me. Also presented to you by Bet Online. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA and college basketball to NHL and UFC. Bet Online continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, Bet Online has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. Go ahead and make your way to betonline.ag right now. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. Speaking of starting, let's do it. Let's jump into those headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
We've talked about this before. The only thing I ever stole when I was a kid was a porno magazine. I think I only stole one. That was enough. That was enough adrenaline for me for doing that. Also, I think I stole some football cards back in the day from the I don't remember what it was, but it was in Broomfield, like a little convenience store. That's like the most I did. It's just I don't like that. I was like 9. Well, no, I did the football cards when I was like 9 or 10. I don't think I was looking at porno magazines till I was like, say, 13, maybe. Anyway, doesn't matter. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. Scott, so when did you discover your wiener and the magic that it can possess? Well, there I was, totally naked in my room. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is a Florida man swallowed $769,000 worth of stolen diamond earrings from Tiffany and Company. Oh my God. Almost $1 million worth of jewelry he swallows. Okay. So basically, what happens, he's pretending to be a representative of some Orlando Magic basketball player, right? So they give him some exclusive behind the scenes of, okay, you're going to see the really high end jewelry. And then he grabs it and then he takes off running down the street. And then he realizes the cops are after him. So he swallows it, gets arrested. They don't realize that he swallowed it. And they're they basically don't have anything on him other than the lady said that he stole it, but they don't have any sort of evidence really. So they're talking to the guy, they're questioning him, and all of a sudden, because they're like, we got nothing. All of a sudden, spontaneously, they say, he asked a staff member if he was going to be charged with what's inside my stomach. And they're like, excuse me, pardon? Excuse me, pardon me. Do you have any grand poupon? And they're like, no, but I do have some jewelry in my tummy. So then they go and get him a body scan, and sure enough, what does he have in there? Multiple foreign objects that were working their way through his digestive tract. Dude got arrested. He was later overheard talking to himself, saying, I should have just thrown him out. Should have thrown him out the window or whatever he said. Something like that. Yeah, dummy. Or check this out. Don't steal. How about that? Oh, that's a weird concept. Don't break the law. Okay, that's a weird concept. Listen, I get it. Times are tough, but don't be stealing shit like that. And don't swallow it. I think for added punishment, they should make him dig through his own feces to get that out. Don't you think? Like, you swallowed it. Now you gotta, I don't want to dig through that. No, 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 no. Here you go. Here you go. You ever been painting for gold? It's the same thing. Instead of dirt, it's shit. Okay? There we go. It's also disturbing too that it was only like 2 things of earrings and it was almost $1 million. That's insane to me. Insane. I can't wrap my brain around having that type of jewelry on. I don't wear jewelry other than I have my ring, my wedding ring, and I have a watch that is a smart-watch-ish. Smart-ish watch. It's not super high end. It's not. It tells the time. I can change the face of it, which is neat. I like that function. I can see the weather because it's connected to my phone. You can give me my heart rate, stress rate, which always peaks during this show because I'm so full of energy. Look at me. Who needs cocaine when I got a podcast? Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's all that, right? But I and it measures my sleep if that's even accurate. But anyway, that's the amount of jewelry I can have. I can't imagine having any more. I'm not a necklace guy. There was a point in time when I was a kid where I wanted a necklace and I had a necklace. Then some chick stole it from me when she was over at my house, along with a CD. Tracy Lawrence. Oh, it's a good CD. Good CD. Ended up getting that back, but the CD was all scratched. So mad. I was more mad about that than the necklace. Anyway, jewelry just is weird to me. I know a lot of ladies love to wear jewelry. There's dudes out there that love to wear jewelry. I'm just not that guy. It's just I see like Deal and Doug on the commercials here in Denver, and he's wearing like 10 rings on his fingers. I don't even know how that's possible, but he is, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm Deal and Doug. Get a car." He's iconic here in Colorado. He is. If you're listening to this and you're not in Colorado, just imagine a car salesman, uh, that is wearing like almost like Super Bowl ring sized rings on his fingers. And he's like, I got a deal for you. Blah, 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 blah. Just a classic TV commercial car guy. But like everybody knows who he is. And then every now and then he's like wearing Super Doug. He's wearing like a Superman costume. And it's like Deal and Doug. It says like a D on there instead of an S. It's iconic. I kind of want to meet the dude because he's kind of this weird. I shouldn't say weird. It's just this. He's a local celebrity. I think it's neat. This is the headline. It says, I was tired of spending $1,600 a year on spray tans. So my DIY hubby took a course to be a certified tanner. Oh my God, no. The only way I think it's excusable to get a spray tan is if you're about to go on vacation. You're going to Mexico, you're going to Hawaii, maybe you're going down to Florida, something like that. And you're someone like me who's fair skinned, and you just I don't take my shirt off for anybody. I don't. I keep it hidden from my wife as well. Like, don't look at my body. Don't you dare. Uh, but I think that's the only reason why you would do it, because you're supposed to get a base tan, because then if you go to a place that's closer to the sun, you're going to get a worse burn. So you go get a base tan. Or sometimes I do this when we've gone on vacation. It's been a while since we've been on vacation. I'll take off my shirt and I'll put on a Speedo and then just stroll through the neighborhood. Really, really send out the vibe to the neighbors and let them know, hey, I'm here, soak it up. Okay, type of thing. And there's a lot of vomiting sounds that you'll hear from the neighbors, and that's typical. It is. But you know what? For all those, say, 99 people that are vomiting and have to go to therapy after seeing me with my shirt off and in Speedos, there's that one person that is just like, yeah, maybe. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. You're welcome. Going back to the story, my with her saying her DIY hubby took a course to be a certified tanner. If you're spending almost $2,000 a year on spray tans, you got a problem. There might be people out there that do more than that. I look at this and I'm like, that's stupid. What a waste of money. What a waste. Good for the company that's scamming her, because it's just like, guess what? You're coming into this place to get a speed tan. Guess what? You could be outside wearing a bikini or whatever, working in the garden, or mowing the lawn, or just going for a stroll, and you could get that for free, and you get some exercise. That's weird, but you're scamming them to go, hey, come in here into this little booth that a bunch of sweaty other people have been plopping down in. Don't worry, we clean it. I'm sure you do, sir. Sure you do. What a scam. What a waste of money. What a freaking waste of money. Oh my God, I don't like it. This says, I'm a mom of two, but only one baby is real. Trolls say I'm crazy for raising a doll, but I love them. Well, let me just say this, ma'am. You are crazy. You are crazy. You have a real baby, and then you have a doll baby. Okay? You're raising them equally, right? They're the doll baby, it looks like it's the same age and size as your real baby, and you're raising them. But people are calling you crazy because you are crazy. Normally, I would say, you know what? They're raising their doll babies to be whatever. They're pretending they're real kids. But usually they don't have real kids in the equation. They just have the doll babies. We've talked about that one lady that has a bunch of rag dolls as her family. She's even fucking married to one. I don't know. I don't know how that works. My mind wanders sometimes. I'm just saying. Just saying. Do the math. Hey, we're married. Come on. Give mama some love. But going back to this one, usually there's not a real kid involved. Now you do. And that's what makes me say this is fucked up. Okay? It is. You got a real baby that's going to grow up because assuming that this lady continues this lie, this fantasy, she's going to continuously be buying these new dolls to raise to stay in pace with her real child. And then the real child is going to be like, so that's my brother? That's my brother. Mommy, he not real. He's not real. Yes, he is. Love your brother. Play with him. That's going to screw up the kid. One day that kid's going to go to school, like whether it's kindergarten, first grade, or beyond. They're going to be talking about their sibling. You're like, why isn't your sibling here at school? You're the same age, right? Well, yeah, mom's teaching them at home. Why aren't you getting taught at home? I don't know. And then one day those friends go over to the house and find out that that kid's mom is batshit crazy. Honey, be nicer to your brother. He's been crying ever since you left. Now look at him. Look at him. He's a mess. It's all because of you. Don't be so mean to him. Be kind. You're like, dude, your mom's fucking crazy. That's wild to me. Sorry. That kid, the real kid's gonna grow up with some issues. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Somebody find out who she is. Watch, not like in a creepy way, but just wait and watch. See what happens. Kid's gonna be on TV, like, combing the hair of their sibling who's a doll as they go to get married to another doll. It's gonna be fucking weird. This story was sent in to me by Connery DeHuff. Connery, I appreciate you sending this in, but I don't think I would ever actually talk about this story if you weren't so insistent that I got to it. Oh, that's okay, Scotty. Please, if I could I read the headline? Absolutely, Connery. Go knock yourself out. Okay. Again, I have nothing to do with this. This is all Connery. Okay. It says I'm best friends with my ex-husband's new wife. We're so close we actually wax each other. And that's good. I think more ladies need to do this. Connery, come on. Come on, really? What? It's an important story about two people finding each other and being best friends. I mean, who wouldn't do that? Ladies, I encourage it. If you want to wax each other, as long as I can watch, I think things will be great in this world. Connery, stop. This is just weird because the husband or the ex-husband is sitting in the back watching. You know that he's part of this, and they're basically a throuple, right? Where it's three people involved, which I don't know how anybody can handle that. Sorry, if that's your world, you live in a throuple or you're part of a throuple. Good for you if you can make it work and if you're happy, that's great. I can't wrap my brain around that. Can't. I have a hard enough time you know, you know, having a wife and two kids, can't imagine throwing some other person in the middle of it and be like, fuck, God, my brain's gonna explode. Like, I don't know. I told somebody this. Fart. No. Don't like it. Meh. So bizarre. Waxing each other. How do you like to be that husband that didn't, let's say he didn't know this was happening? Honey, I'm home. They're on the, in the kitchen waxing each other. Oh, hi, honey. Carol's over. I'm just giving her a nice wax. Okay. You guys care if I just sit back in the corner and just watch? I'm just going to go check stuff on my phone. And he's just going to be like peeking over and be like, oh my God, this is really happening. This is really happening. I think that's bizarre. It's bizarre. I like I said, I can't wrap my brain around that. No way. But if you're happy, looking at that story, I don't get it. Can't wrap my brain around it. But they're not hurting anybody. If anything, they're being kind to each other and helping each other out. They're they're saving each other money. How about that? Very thrifty. Good for them. Okay? Saving a buck. Like I said before, times are tough. Egg prices are through the roof. Other things are going to start going through the roof as far as grocery and other miscellaneous things. Okay? Times are tough. You got to save some money somewhere. Why not wax each other? I had a buddy once that he's like, he had a vasectomy. I think it was a vasectomy because he said he had stitches in his scrotum. And he's like, Scott, could you help me take out the stitches? And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, sorry. I'm not going to do it. And he looked at me. He's like, oh, well, so and so said he would. Like, well, good for that guy. Good for him. Guess you guys are best buds because I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I jacked up pulling stitches out of my own face. Okay. I'm not going to handle some dude's scrotum for multiple reasons. That's not on my to do list. Okay. Don't need some dude's junk in my face. And I'm like, God, could this be over any quicker? Next thing I know, I pull on something wrong and it's like, oh my God. Ah, the horror. The horror. So bizarre. But good for those ladies. Good for those ladies. They're truly American heroes. They are. Connery, stop it. Stop it. That's so stupid. My goodness. Oh, you know what I was going to do right here? This is very important. You gotta go with the GOAT. If you don't know what I'm talking about, remember this. Go with the GOAT. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If somebody says they're the GOAT and they're legit the GOAT, you gotta go with them. And who can I say is the GOAT when it comes to roofing and fence repair? You gotta go with Roof Goat USA. Write that name down. You're gonna want to remember that. Go with the GOAT. They do roof repairs, they do fence repairs. Basically, what I'm saying, roofing, fencing needs, contact the GOAT. Roof Goat USA is teamed up with Fence Goat LLC, and they're here for you. They've been in business for 23 years. They understand the headache that comes with fixing a roof and fences, and they're all about putting a smile on your face, whether it's a repair, replacement, insurance claims. Oh, dealing with insurance is annoying, but they got your side. They got your back. They got your side. I don't know why I said they got your side. They got your side. No, they got your back. Roof Goat USA's experienced professionals are committed to delivering reliable and durable solutions. That's a big deal. I love the durable part too, because sometimes roofers will try to sell you nonsense. Not these guys. They tell you what's going to last and what's best for you. And they prioritize the safety and comfort of your family, ensuring that your home is well protected against the elements as they do the repairs. That's pretty cool. I don't see that with anybody else. I'm looking at the videos on their website and I'm like, whoa, wait, this makes so much sense. They have like tarps everywhere. making sure your siding doesn't get damaged, windows get damaged while they're fixing stuff, just in case. And they have a crew that is just on the ground that is constantly picking up debris like nails and old shingles, stuff like that. That way, you like your vehicle doesn't get damaged, your kids don't get hurt, your pets don't get hurt, stuff like that. It's really cool. They go the extra mile where we had all those hailstorms last summer, and you saw these just a huge amount of roofers going out. I didn't see one company go the extra mile to make sure that the customer was in a position of safety and comfort. These guys do that. Roof Goat USA. You got to remember that. Roof Goat USA. They handle all your roofing and fencing needs. Like I said, go ahead and text Eric 303-495-4630. He's extremely fast on responding to your calls. Roof Goat USA, the leader in residential roofing applications. They're committed to quality and excellence, and they're ensuring that your home is protected with the best roofing solutions available. You got to trust them to deliver an unmatched service and superior craftsmanship that stands the test of time. In fact, they guarantee their work. This is cool. I was looking at this, and they're very proud of this. They got a 30-year coverage from install date. That's all materials and labor for 30 years from date to install. They guarantee their work. How cool is that? Guys, when I say they're the GOAT, I mean it. They're the Roof Goat USA team, and they are amazing. Again, text Eric 303-495-4630. God, my brain, I'm like having trouble speaking. Again, text Eric 303-495-4630. I'm just so excited about talking about goats. Experience the Roof Goat USA difference today. Roof Goat USA. So cool. So cool. I hate when I do that and I'm like talking and I'm just like so excited. Like I get excited when I talk about small businesses and the cool things that they do to stand out. And like Roof Goat USA does that a lot. And it's really neat. But then I stumble over my words. Which, by the way, speaking of, how like yesterday I was doing like trying to do a goat voice when I was talking about Roof Goat USA, and I'm like, "Meh, meh." Owl Pipe ID sent me a message because they're going to come back later in the year and do some more advertising, but they were advertising with us last year, and they're like, did you decide to go with Roof Goat USA because it's an animal and you get a chance to make more animal noises? I'm like, maybe, maybe. I'm just saying. You guys know me too well. You guys do. You know what we need to do right now? Let's go ahead and jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with DeHuff.
There's been a lot of talk coming out of the combine. Obviously, that's over with, but the combine where a lot of NFL scouts and higher ups were, they had their interviews with players, and a big name player that's going to always draw some attention, Shedeur Sanders, son of Deion Sanders. There's reports coming out of the combine that he was rubbing a lot of people the wrong way because he was too confident, a little arrogant. And some are saying, well, his stock is starting to tumble. I disagree with it. And to kind of mirror what I'm talking about, here's Mark Schlereth on Fox Sports reacting to the reports that Shedeur Sanders' draft stock is falling due to his arrogance.
A lot of the draft evaluators are stupid. Show me a quarterback who's not arrogant. You ever sit with a guy who's going to be a star quarterback? Most of them are arrogant. Most of them have a lot of belief in what they do. He's incredibly accurate.
Yes, he is.
He really understands not only offensive football, but he understands what you're doing as a defense. So he'll pick you apart that way. He processes quickly. Like, all those things to me are big-time attributes. And I just remember last year at this time, Bo Nix falling. People saying, hey, Bo Nix is going to be a second rounder, and Bo Nix is not. By the way, that guy was one of the best quarterbacks in this rookie class last year. So I don't worry about what the evaluators say about Shedeur Sanders. I think the guy is a big-time player.
There you go. Thank you so much to Mark Schlereth. That's from his show Breakfast Ball on FS1. Starting to gain some traction on that show. It's becoming more and more popular, which is good. I'm glad to see that because obviously Mark being a buddy of mine, I want to see him succeed, and it's great. But going back to what Stink was saying about Shedeur Sanders is, yes, you want a player, especially a quarterback, that's confident. Now, that being said, I can kind of see where the other people are coming from when they look at Shedeur Sanders. He does have another layer of confidence that most people don't have. It's cockiness. It's a little bit of a I'm better than you, not just at football, but in just life. It kind of just pours out of him, right? It's just the way he was raised. He's a son of Deion Sanders, where you grow up believing in yourself. Oh, God forbid. But I can see how that could rub people the wrong way. But at the end of the day, whether you're in pro sports or in business, I want somebody that's confident in their skill set. If you're on a job site, do you want to work side by side with somebody that is, I don't know, I guess I'm okay at this, or this, gets intimidated by every step of the way, or anytime there's a new task presented, or anytime something changes a little bit, and they're like, oh, that's not according to plan. I don't want somebody like that. I want somebody that's full of confidence and says, hey, things changed. We got to go this route. You good? Yeah, absolutely. Let's crush this thing. I want somebody like that. It doesn't matter if it's freaking sports or not. I need somebody that is going to just have it seep out of their pores of confidence, because nobody wants to work with somebody that isn't confident in their skills. I don't want that. I can't trust a guy like that, especially if you're, well, think about like military. Think about if you're a first responder. I don't want somebody that's second guessing themselves constantly, isn't sure of themselves. I need somebody that believes that they're a fucking badass out on the field. And they're about team too. Okay? I don't need somebody going, well, I'm just going to do everything because I'm better than everybody. I need somebody that's also a team player. Don't get me wrong. But I need that person to be confident in themselves and their skills, isn't afraid of change, of new challenges. So, yeah, maybe some teams, he rubbed them the wrong way. I still think that Shedeur Sanders is going to be something special in the NFL. Is he going to be Hall of Fame caliber? As of right now, I think that's foolish to say one way or the other. Is he that special? I don't know. I was listening to Dan Patrick talk about Shedeur Sanders and what he sees in Shedeur. And the thing that kind of worries him a little bit is that Shedeur doesn't get out of the pocket enough. And he feels like that he should run a little bit more. And will that be a problem going into the NFL? Because Shedeur is primarily a pocket passer. Is that going to be a problem? Well, it could be. Could be. That being said, CU had a shit offensive line. A shit offensive line with Shedeur Sanders. It got a little bit better at the end, near the end of this last season. So if he has a good offensive line, just like any quarterback, they could be doing something special. I think where I know, because I think Dan Patrick was quoting Steve Young. Steve Young, obviously a quarterback that was not afraid to run, and he was so freaking insane when he would get out of the pocket and just, run for a first down or a touchdown because he was that good. Um, he's saying that it just I want to say he was like there's so much more opportunities if you're willing to run. I agree with that, but then I see some players, if you run, you got to know how to protect yourself and you got to bulk up a little bit. You look at somebody like Cam Newton, who was a big dude, even him as a big dude, running around, you run into some issues. Like he's just never the same after getting his ass kicked in Super Bowl 50, Cam Newton. So it worries me when quarterbacks decide to run a lot. I don't like that because they could be missing. If they're quick to run, they could be missing a lot of opportunities down the field. They're like, well, I'll just run it. I think Shedeur is a guy that believes in his arm and believes in his teammates that he can throw the ball where it needs to go. He's very accurate. He's a good quarterback. Will it translate into the NFL? We don't know. Time will tell. But it's nice to hear somebody like Mark Schlereth say the same thing. And essentially all these other big name guys out there are saying the same thing. Time's going to tell. You want a guy with confidence. So I don't see anything wrong with it. That being said, we are not in those interview rooms. He may be taking the confidence in himself to another level that would just make anybody get, the icks. Like, oh, no. Like, I appreciate you being confident, but Jesus, you've probably worked with somebody like that. They're just a little too confident. Like, you're good. But you're like, you just bullshit. It's kind of like bullshit confidence. They're you're almost like they're faking it till they make it type of confidence. I want a guy, if I'm doing a job, I want him to be honest about it. I always thought it was funny when the company would say, "Hey, we're changing how we do certain things." Maybe it was like how we manage the website or something. We got to do it this way. Here's the reason why. Here's the instructions of how we do it. It's essentially not going to take you any extra time, or maybe it's like, oh, it'll take you an extra 2 minutes to do this. And there's two classifications of employees and workers, right? There's people that look at it and be like, it's fine, whatever. A challenge. That's the way I tried to do it. There was a time where I was the other side of it. And there's a good chunk of people that do the other side of it. And that's just like, you're changing how we do it. I was like a master at doing it this way. Now you're throwing a wrench into everything. Now I got to change up how I do it. This is terrible. This is annoying. People that panic. Once I realized that was annoying, and it took me working with other people that were that way for me to go, oh, shit, that's me. Oh, I can't do that anymore. Can't do that anymore. And then I started looking at it as a challenge. Things don't always go your way. Okay, that's fine. Boss says to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. It's going to be a little tough at first, but we'll get through it. That's what I need. I need somebody to be honest with it. Be like, yes, that's a challenge, but I like the challenge, and I'm confident that we'll get it right. There's nothing wrong with that. But if somebody's going into a challenge like that, something changes or something, you're met with some sort of obstacle, and they're just like, yeah, it's easy, no problem. No, that's not being honest. That's just you being an arrogant fuck. Okay, I don't need that. I need somebody to look at things logically. Yes, it's going to be a challenge, but you know what? I have belief in myself and my crew that we're going to knock the shit out of this thing. Fine with that. Fine with that. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that process, but just imagine that in your work situation. The people that sit there and bitch and complain over every little change, eventually you're going to get phased out because nobody wants to work with you, right? Things get changed. Oh, you want to change this? Oh, it's annoying. But you know what? We can get through it. But if it's just like, oh, it's annoying, it's going to take me so much longer. Shut up. Nobody wants to work with you. Continuing with sports, Maxx Crosby of the Raiders said he wants Aaron Rodgers to come to Las Vegas and be a Raider. Good. Enjoy that. I have no problem with that. As a Denver Bronco fan, sure. Absolutely. My God, who gives a shit? This is Aaron Rodgers. This is actual audio of Aaron Rodgers coming into the Raiders facility in the future because they sign him. This is a crystal ball. Nobody else has this. It's impossible for anybody else, but I have time travel capabilities via this crystal ball. This is Aaron Rodgers stepping into the facilities of the Las Vegas Raiders. This is the first thing out of his mouth.
Let's burn this place to the ground.
Because he will. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. He needs to retire, but if he wants to join the Raiders, I'm all for that. Saddle up, partner. Because I'm confident that's not going to help the Raiders. It's not. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I still have that itch to play and the Raiders want you and there's players that want you there, sure. Get another paycheck. Do it. Join the AFC. Well, he's already in the AFC. I forgot he's with the Jets and just shit that one away. Go ahead. Go ahead. Join the Raiders. I don't care. I encourage it. Fuck. So ridiculous. You know what we need to do right now is let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Chris. He says, talk about John Cena's heel turn. I honestly had no idea what Chris was talking about because he sent me this on Twitter. And I start Googling, start looking at what's trending. And John Cena's trending. And I said, it says heel turn. Okay. I had no idea what he was talking about. John Cena apparently is now a bad guy in the male soap opera, otherwise known as the WWE. I had no idea. I had no idea. This was such a big deal. This is like this is a really high trending topic. Apparently the other night, who was it? Cody Rhodes and somehow something. Cody Rhodes is supposed to be like the ultimate good guy in the WWE. And John Cena's always been looked at as a good guy in the WWE. And then now he's the bad guy. Interesting that it comes on the heels of a significant drop in viewership with the WWE. Their ratings are tanking. This is a great way for them to boost the ratings. To have somebody like John Cena, who's a good dude, like he holds a Guinness World Record for like the most make-a-wish things, right? Good for him. He seems like a good dude. But to have him turn quote unquote bad, he's the bad boy of the WWE. Oh, people are going to tune in for that. Whether it makes sense or not, people are going to tune in for it. Is he going to have like really like jet black hair now? Because that would be kind of funny. And then grow a mustache. Oh, that'd be great. John Cena with a dark, obviously dyed black mustache. That would be fantastic. Like handlebar mustache. I would be fine with that, John. John, if you could please, that'd be great. John Cena follows me on Twitter. Not a big accomplishment because I was looking at like who he follows, and because he follows my DeHuff Uncensored, I'm like, oh, cool. Then I look at how many people he follows, and he'll go on a rampage or whoever his social media person is, and they go back and follow a bunch of people that follow him. So at first I'm like, oh, John Cena knows me or wants to. No. I don't feel special. I think this is funny that John Cena's doing that. I'm a huge fan of John Cena as far as acting goes. My kids love him. Playing with Fire is a good movie that he did as far as a kid appropriate. Him in Peacemaker. Oh, it's one of my favorite shows. I can't wait for season 2. In fact, because I wrote that, I said something about so John Cena is bad now. I still like Peacemaker. That show is legit awesome. And Gabriel wrote in hoping for a season 2. Me too, Gabriel. Because that's a good freaking show. Good show. And John Cena's just good. I would rather watch a John Cena movie than a Dwayne Johnson movie because I feel like John Cena, while some of his characters are the same, he at least has a little bit more of a broad spectrum when it comes to character. Dave Bautista, as far as former wrestlers go, I feel like he is the best actor of the three. When you go Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, Dave Bautista's obviously clearly the best actor. He can do any role, comedy, serious, whatever. Then I would say John Cena, and then way in the back is Dwayne Johnson, who essentially plays the same guy in every movie. But that being said, his movies are pretty good. You know what you're going to get. It's just action. Borderline funny. Good. Interesting. So, John Cena, good for you. Taking the role of bad guy. I'm not a WWE guy. Back in the day, I was WWF when I was a kid. Had the little WWF ring. I had the Ultimate Warrior action figure. I had Superfly Jimmy Snuka. I had Jake the Snake Roberts. I had Hulk Hogan. Did I say Ultimate Warrior? Who else did I have? Andre the Giant. I had all these like action figures, and I'd play wrestling with them and stuff like that. It was really, back in the day when I was a kid, I thought that was cool. I still think it's weird. And there's I shouldn't make fun of it too much because a lot of you guys still love watching WWE. I can't get into it. I can't. But that being said, I'm not really into a lot of shows other than like say Severance right now. We're starting to watch Paradise. That's an interesting one, but we're only like one episode in. Silo is a good one. Interesting. I would have to say though, Severance is the best show that you can watch right now that's new-ish. Greg wrote in, hey, do you believe there's something in Loch Ness? And then he added the story from an article. It says Loch Ness monster sighting reported, the first in 2025. When you look at the picture, it's like a little bump in the water. Here's the thing when it comes to the Loch Ness monster. There's been sightings, quote unquote sightings, for years and years and years. They've never actually found anything. The water is, gets really cold up there in Scotland. I think on an average day, it's 41 degrees, so it's not like you can go swimming in there. You do that, you're going to get hypothermia pretty dang quick. What a lot of people don't realize, though, is while they've done a bunch of testing, they've done a lot of surveillance out there, they haven't actually really found anything other than, what is that? We don't know. There is actually an underwater cave system in there that goes on, it's a cave system. Those things go on for miles and miles and miles. And there's also a really deep trench. So if there is indeed something out there, there's plenty of places for it to hide and nobody would know. And since it is a cold body of water, people aren't going to be exploring it like they would, say, a warmer, something that was, say, 30 degrees warmer. So could there be something in there? Yeah, it's possible. Is it likely? I don't know. I look at it as, I want to say no. I do. Do I think the pictures are legit? Those things are so easy to fake. They are. It's definitely possible, especially when you throw into the equation you had the cave system there. Something could hide in there. And it's really difficult for, say, investigators to try and track something down. Okay? It's possible. It is. I don't know if I would say it's likely or not. Because I guess depending on what it is, and here's what's crazy. It could be like an eel or something like that, especially this last picture. It could just be like a fucking eel in whatever. Just because we say, hey, there's this Loch Ness monster, doesn't mean that it's like this long, like, say, dinosaur era creature. It could just be something else that is common somewhere else, but we just never get a glimpse of it. Or it could, I don't know. I'm not too concerned about it. If they came back and said it's just, we actually caught the Loch Ness monster, even if they said they caught the Loch Ness monster, it's just this giant fucking eel or whatever. You know, nobody's gonna believe it unless they come out with like a corpse of this thing, this creature that, say is from the Cretaceous period or something like that. They're like, this is what it was. This was just alive not too long ago. I think then maybe people might believe it. But I don't know. But I believe in that more than I believe in Bigfoot. I don't believe Bigfoot is true at all. And the only way, and I've discussed this before, the only way I think Bigfoot is legit, and it's still going beyond what our current knowledge of science is and how physics work and blah, 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 okay, is if there was some sort of portal. I know, listen to me, sound like a total, like, conspiracy theorist. The only way I'd say that is if there's a portal and somehow that it's going from one universe or one existence into our existence, fucking around, then going back. That's the only thing. And that's like really fucking far-fetched based on everything we know. Is it possible? I guess. Is it likely? No. I'm still waiting for somebody to send me good evidence of a Bigfoot. It's such a scam. Those shows, searching for Bigfoot, scam. People that are, make money off of Bigfoot in any way, it's a scam. Unless it's like a t-shirt that says Bigfoot did it, which I'm trying to get made for the show. At my logo somewhere, and it says it's a silhouette of Bigfoot walking, and it says Bigfoot did it. Why not? All else fails, let's just blame Bigfoot. Okay? That's what that guy that swallowed the jewelry should have done. Being like, I didn't steal it. It was fucking Bigfoot. Oh, dang. Okay. They do have shows about finding Bigfoot, so maybe it was here in New York City or Florida, wherever the fuck that dude was. Do you guys believe in Loch Ness or Bigfoot? I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I have a lot of friends and family that hunt and camp all the time. They've never seen anything like that, ever. Where they're just like, ooh, I don't know. Not even a, could be. No, none of that. Well, if you guys have a story, let me know. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com. It's DeHuff Uncensored. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Make sure you hit that like button wherever you're consuming this. Big thanks to Roof Goat USA and, of course, Bet Online. It's DeHuff Uncensored. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you next time.